Good morning, everyone. My name is Eric Johnson from the California Housing Finance Agency. Thank you to all of you for joining us virtually today, and a special thank you to all of our distinguished speakers. We're here today to talk about a new program available for homeowners who have been facing financial hardships during the COVID-19 pandemic. The California Mortgage Relief Program will help struggling homeowners get caught up on their housing payments. The program's online application portal is now open, and homeowners can go to camortgagerelief.org to check their eligibility and begin the application process. All emails, web addresses, and that sort of thing will be on slides and in the chat, so don't need to not write this stuff down right now. All microphones will be muted during the press conference. We will open microphones during the Q&A at the end of the event. Please feel free to reach out at any time to our media team at press@camortgagerelief.org. We'd also be happy to arrange one-on-one interviews with any of today's speakers or program reps. With that, I'd like to introduce our very first speaker, Secretary Lourdes M. Castro Ramirez of the California Business, Consumer Services, and Housing Agency.
Good morning, and thank you, Eric, for the introduction. Thank you all for joining us today for this briefing announcing the launch of the state's mortgage relief program. As mentioned by Eric, I'm Lourdes Castro Ramirez, and I serve as the Secretary of the Business, Consumer Services, and Housing Agency. This agency oversees 12 entities, including state departments that work to prevent and end homelessness, provide affordable housing funding, and promote homeownership. Today, I am so pleased to be joined by the Honorable Congresswoman Waters and the Executive Director of the California Housing Finance Agency, along with Commissioner Chloe Hewlett, Commissioner for California's Department of Financial Protection and Innovation. We are here today to share good news and to provide more details on California's plan to make available $1 billion in mortgage relief funding to tens of thousands of struggling homeowners. COVID-19 has severely affected homeowners who may have lost their jobs or had to reduce their work hours and essentially fell behind on their housing payments. Currently, 12% of California homeowners are facing foreclosure and 6% are behind on mortgage payments due to the pandemic. And we know that homeowners in underserved communities were often hit the hardest. With funding from the federal government through the U.S. Treasury, the California Mortgage Relief Program rounds out a comprehensive suite of housing assistance programs to keep Californians in their homes. It will provide much needed relief to homeowners who have suffered financial setbacks because of this pandemic. From the beginning of this global pandemic, Governor Gavin Newsom and this administration have shown strong commitment to keep California households stably housed. Very early on, the governor established Project Roomkey to provide shelter for people experiencing homelessness and those most at risk of COVID-19. This effort gave way to HomeKey, which has so far funded the acquisition of more than 100 housing projects with over 7,000 affordable housing units for people experiencing homelessness or at risk of becoming homeless. Also, very early in the pandemic, the governor established some of the nation's strongest eviction protections for renters. These protections gave way to the state's COVID-19 rent relief program through the Housing is Key initiative. As of today, the rent relief program has paid out nearly $1.8 billion to assist about 145,000 low-income renter households stay in their homes by paying accumulated rental arrears. But we have also been focused on supporting homeowners. California was one of the first states in the nation through the Department of Financial Protection and Innovation, and with commitments from 200 mortgage lenders to offer forbearance relief to homeowners. The department has also worked closely with its licensees to encourage them to participate in the California Mortgage Relief Program. Of course, I want to acknowledge the leadership of our newly appointed by Governor Newsom, Commissioner Hewlett, for her work and for her team's work in this space. To augment these efforts, the California Housing Finance Agency implemented housing and mortgage counseling for homeowners having financial problems. More than 17,000 homeowners have received this assistance. And now we're ready. We're ready to launch this $1 billion mortgage relief program. And I commend our executive director at CalHFA, Tina Johnson Hall, and the entire team for moving with speed to ensure that these dollars reach homeowners that have been most impacted. Although the economy shows signs of improving, people are still suffering from this financial fallout. And while we hope that the Omicron variant doesn't make matters worse, we must continue to do all that we can to keep Californians housed through this public health emergency. And we must continue to do everything in our power to ensure that Californians do not lose their homes. With today's announcement, I'd like to acknowledge the leadership of Governor Newsom, the state legislature, Congresswoman Waters, the Biden administration, and our partners at the US Treasury for their strong collaboration with our state and local communities in our shared efforts to keep people in their homes. The US Treasury has provided the state with $5.2 billion in rent relief and now $1 billion in mortgage relief. And just as we have moved with a sense of urgency to get rent relief dollars to those who need them, we will also move with a sense of urgency to ensure that homeowners who are behind on their mortgage payments are able to avail themselves of this assistance. And now, before I introduce Congresswoman Waters, I'd like to just share a few words in Spanish. Buenos días. Mi nombre es Lourdes Castro Ramírez y soy la secretaria de Agencia de Comercio, Servicios al Consumidor y Vivienda. Quiero darle las gracias por compartir con nosotros esta sesión informativa. Actualmente, el 12% de los propietarios de sus viviendas en California enfrentan embargo hipotecario y un 6% están atrasados en el pago de sus hipotecas. Esto es más alto de lo normal y es el resultado de las dificultades financieras causadas por el COVID-19. Hoy traemos buenas noticias a los propietarios de viviendas en California que enfrentan efectos negativos por la pandemia y que no han podido pagar su hipoteca. El programa de rescate hipotecario de California es un programa financiado por el gobierno federal y el estado ha recibido $1,000 millones para ayudar a propietarios elegibles por medio de subvenciones o grants en una sola vez de hasta $80,000. Esperamos que esto ayude a las familias más afectadas a mantener su hogar y brindarles un nuevo comienzo. Desde el inicio de esta pandemia, el gobernador Gavin Newsom y su administración se han mantenido firmes en su compromiso de ayudar a todos los residentes de California a mantener la estabilidad de sus viviendas. Por ejemplo, estableció el proyecto Room Key, que dio paso a Home Key. Estableció algunas de las protecciones contra desalojos más estrictas del país, lo que llevó al programa de ayuda con la renta. Hoy damos un paso más, ofreciendo ayuda a los propietarios que están atrasados en sus pagos hipotecarios debido a COVID-19. Le damos gracias a CalHFA por poner el programa en marcha y gracias al Departamento de Protección e Innovación Financiera por su esfuerzo en mantener a las personas en sus hogares. Y gracias al Departamento de Tesoro de los Estados Unidos y a la congresista Maxine Waters, que nos acompaña hoy por su liderazgo y gran trabajo en traer fondos tan necesarios para mantener la estabilidad de nuestras familias. And now I'd like to welcome to this briefing the Honorable Congresswoman Waters. We're so fortunate that one of the strongest champions in Congress, a strong champion for renters, for homeowners, for the communities that we serve, has joined us today. Representative Maxine Waters has been a steadfast advocate for housing, not just for California, but also nationally. And as chair of the House Financial Services Committee, her actions have shown her unwavering commitment to keeping people in California and throughout the nation stably housed. Without Congresswoman Waters, the American Rescue Plan would, without a doubt, not have included the robust levels of assistance to keep both renters and homeowners in their homes during this pandemic. Thank you for joining us, Chairwoman. The floor is yours.
Thank you so very much. Good morning, everyone. I am so very pleased as the chair of the House Financial Services Committee to be able to join you, all of you, on the announcement of the largest mortgage relief program in the country, the California Mortgage Relief Program, which will help thousands of homeowners in California avoid foreclosure. I'd first like to thank Governor Newsom, California Housing Finance Agency Executive Director, Tina Johnson Hall, Secretary of the Business, Consumer Services and Housing Agency, Lourdes Castro Ramirez, and Commissioner of the Department of Financial Protection and Innovation, Chloe Hewitt, for your efforts on behalf of California homeowners and ensuring that California stay housed during this ongoing pandemic. I'm so very, very pleased that you have joined together and taken the leadership, and you became so well organized in the way that you promptly responded to this opportunity that I was able to help create with my housing committee. And so you not only recognize that long before this pandemic, that our state was experiencing a housing crisis. This crisis was exacerbated during the post-2008 foreclosure crisis, when millions lost their homes, disproportionately draining the wealth of Black and Latinx communities and further widening the racial wealth gap. Unfortunately, we have found ourselves in a similar situation the last few years, with millions losing family members, jobs, and income, leaving many homeowners unable to make payments on their mortgage or other housing costs. That's why, from the beginning of this pandemic, I led efforts to provide this critical relief to struggling homeowners. Days after the FEMA declaration of a national emergency related to COVID, I introduced legislation to create a national program to assist homeowners, as I recognize that forbearance, while helpful during the pandemic, would not be sufficient to help those who lost their jobs or experienced significant financial hardships once forbearance periods and other relief ended. I was so very worried that while we were doing forbearance and people were not able to pay and not forced to pay their mortgages for maybe several months, that the devil was going to come due. And then they were going to have lump payments, perhaps, that they were going to have to pay. And this would not be able for them to do because, again, many of them had lost jobs or had been laid off from jobs, and they were not going to have any more money after forbearance to pay this lump sum than they had during the pandemic, where they had been relieved of monthly payments for a short period of time, a temporary period of time. And so after President Biden secured control of the House and the Senate, I was able to secure $10 billion in the American Rescue Plan to create a national homeowner assistance fund to help homeowners stay stably housed during these very difficult times. These funds will be able to help Californians modify their loans, including with principal reductions so that they can remain stably housed. I'm very pleased that California received over $1 billion of this funding and has begun to help homeowners with the launch of its state program today. And so I congratulate you on your efforts, and I look forward to working with you to ensure Californians know about this critical assistance. However, our work is not done. We must continue to work to make home ownership a reality for Californians. That's why I will continue to fight to make sure that housing remains a key part of the Build Back Better Act, and that the act is signed into law with robust funding. The Build Back Better Act includes $10 billion for first generation down payment assistance that would help bring the dream of home ownership within reach for millions of mortgage-ready home buyers, including more than 20 million millennials, and will begin to close the wealth gap. So I thank you so very much for your hard work in keeping homeowners stably housed, and especially during this pandemic. I have created a motto in the House of Representatives where I say housing is infrastructure. And it's so important to everything that we can do to ensure a decent quality of life for many people who are paying 50% of their income just to stay housed, for many who have been needing rental assistance. And between what we're doing with this very important program and the rental assistance program that we have, we're hopeful that we're able to not only assist those families in need, but to ensure that they certainly have a better quality of life because they do not have to be homeless. They do not have to wonder whether or not they're going to be evicted. Thank you, because you have been in the leadership of understanding how important it was to promptly respond to that which we had made possible so that you can help our homeowners. So thank you so very much for having me with you today.
Thank you so much for joining us, Chairwoman Waters. I wish you could be at all of our press conferences. Next up, we have Executive Director of the California Housing Finance Agency, Tina Johnson Hall. Tina. Tina, it's the bane of Zoom, you're on mute.
And there you have it. Thank you, Eric. And thank you, Chairwoman Waters, for taking time to join us and for your leadership in the creation of the Homeowner Assistance Fund, but moreover, for everything else you've done to stand up for those without a voice. Also, thank you, Secretary Castro Ramirez, for your leadership and commitment to improving housing for all Californians. I'm so thrilled to be able to announce that struggling California homeowners can now apply for mortgage relief and get caught up on the housing payments they missed due to the pandemic. When crafting the American Rescue Plan Act of 2021 COVID relief bill, our federal partners recognized the dire need for homeowner assistance and set aside a large fund for that purpose. Our state's allocation of $1 billion is now available to help Californians with one-time grants up to $80,000 that will go directly to a homeowner's mortgage servicer to get them caught up. The California Mortgage Relief Program grants will provide full reinstatement for eligible households so that their mortgage is caught up and they have a clean slate to begin to get their lives back on track. The California Housing Finance Agency has set up the CalHFA Homeowner Relief Corporation to administer the program. CalHFA was chosen because of our more than 40 years of providing assistance to low and moderate income home buyers and homeowners. So we know this world, and we are committed to doing all we can to help Californians keep a roof over their head. We all know that a home is much more than simply the physical space we live. It's security, it's peace of mind, it's our nest egg. And for many Californians, it is their dream come true. So for those who have lost wages, lost jobs, or even faced the tragedy of a lost loved one, we are here to hopefully help them keep their home. California homeowners can visit camortgagerelief.org to apply. The website and application is available in several different languages. The program has no fees, there are no liens, and the grants never need to be paid back. Now, there is no deadline to apply, but we encourage people to do it as soon as possible. And we encourage all California homeowners who are struggling to visit a HUD certified housing counselor who will provide free confidential guidance, whether they are a mortgage relief program applicant or not. Thank you all and have a great day.
Thank you, Executive Director Johnson Hall. Our next speaker is the Commissioner of the Department of Financial Protection and Innovation, Clotilda Hewlett.
Good morning, everyone, and thank you, Eric. The California Department of Financial Protection and Innovation is so very grateful to partner with Cal HFA on this effort. As Commissioner, I'm so proud of our work to keep families housed. Because of our collective efforts, California homeowners struggling with COVID-19 pandemic will have every opportunity to stay in their homes. And to every lender, servicer, and sub-servicer, we thank you for your efforts. We would not be able to do this without you, and are grateful to all of our licensees who made a commitment to work with struggling homeowners by offering repayment options. For those of you who haven't signed up to participate in the California Mortgage Relief Program, we want to encourage you to join us and make history. Your efforts will ensure that every California homeowner eligible for mortgage relief will have the chance to draw down those funds to save their home and keep their dreams alive. If you haven't signed up yet, we strongly encourage you to do so. In the coming weeks, for all those participating servicers who have done the right thing, we will proudly list you on the DFPI website, so homeowners searching for help will see your name. Of course, we are proud of the work our department has already done to protect homeowners and inspire our licensees to take action. In September, our department required all our licensees handling residential mortgages to tell us about the actions they were taking to help homeowners avoid foreclosure. Seeing this aid on the horizon, we asked licensees to outline a process for screening borrowers for California Mortgage Relief Program, plans for following state and federal regulations, and the magnitude of foreclosure risk among the loans they service. Thanks to those efforts, mortgage servicers reported late last year that they were ready to support homeowners through additional staffing, protective policies, and by signing up for the California Mortgage Relief Program. No homeowner should go homeless due to the impacts of the COVID-19 pandemic. Our efforts serve as a national model for how regulators can work with licensees and state partners to create tangible relief for homeowners. And we want to tell consumers, if you need additional assistance, we are here for you. Thank you to our Secretary, Lourdes Castro Ramirez, for the leadership at the California Housing Finance Agency and the many community partners who are helping to spread the word. Californians are better protected because of our unified efforts. Congratulations, everyone.
Thank you so much, Commissioner Hewlett, for your remarks. Our final speaker of the morning will be the California Mortgage Relief Program President, Dr. Rebecca Franklin, who will give us a brief overview of the program eligibility and the application process. After she's finished, we will have a Q&A session. So Dr. Franklin, please tell us how it's all going to work.
Thank you, Eric. I'm so happy and honored to be joined by all of these amazing and frankly inspiring female leaders who have come together to work so hard to help so many California homeowners get a fresh start by getting caught up on their missed mortgage payments. Today, I'm here to give you a deeper understanding of the California Mortgage Relief Program, more specifically, how the program works and who is eligible. Anyone interested in learning about the California Mortgage Relief Program or wanting to apply should start by going to our website, camortgagerelief.org. The website itself is available in 6 different languages. In addition to the website, we will be connecting with community-based organizations to conduct in-language, culturally competent outreach to ensure we offer equity and access to all homeowners. While the website itself does contain a lot of helpful information about the program, in addition to the program information, it also contains helpful information for California homeowners, such as connection and information to other COVID relief programs, as well as information about scam or fraud. Unfortunately, we all know that there are bad actors out there. It's important to the program that we make sure California homeowners understand this is a grant and there is no fee or cost to apply. If they're approached by any entity requiring payback of the funds or a fee, that would be a scam or misrepresentation of the program. And there is information for them to be able to report those entities on our website. Now, who is eligible for this program? While the website itself does have a comprehensive list of the program's eligibility, I do want to highlight a few critical eligibility criterion for you today. First and foremost, we do look at income. The intention of these funds is to serve people with low to moderate incomes. Specifically, the total household income of all of the household members must be at or below 100% of the county's area median income. Additionally, applicants must have missed at least 2 mortgage payments as of December 27th, 2021. The applicants must own and occupy the home as their primary residence, and they will need to attest that they have experienced a qualified financial hardship after January 21st, 2020. Again, these are just a sample of their requirements. The full list is on our website. So how does this program work? When designing this program, it was important to us to strike a balance between having a easy to use, streamlined application and making sure that we collect enough information to be able to do our due diligence to verify that an applicant meets the program's eligibility. And at the end of the day, these funds are dispersed to the intended recipients. At a high level, an applicant will go onto our secure online application and apply for the program. The application will then be reviewed and verify that the applicant does meet all of the eligibility of the program. If an applicant is determined to be meeting the criteria and approved, the California Mortgage Relief Program will disperse funds directly to the mortgage servicer. In turn, the mortgage servicer will apply the payment to the account of the applicant and the homeowner will be caught up. What does the application process look like for a homeowner? As I said before, an interested homeowner should visit our website at camortgagerelief.org. Then they will hit a get started or apply now button. This will automatically bring them to a questionnaire or a pre-screening questionnaire. This allows the homeowner to assess their specific circumstance against the program's high-level critical eligibility. When the homeowner is determined to be potentially eligible, they will be taken to an online application. The online application can be start and stop. The homeowner has the option to save their progress and come back for 30 days. As I said before, we do try to strike a balance between a streamlined application and making sure we do our due diligence in reviewing the applications. The homeowner in the application process will be required to answer a few questions and upload some easily available documents such as a pay stub or a monthly bank statement. After all the documents are uploaded and the application is submitted, we have eligibility specialists ready, willing, and able to start doing their analysis of the application. They will connect with the homeowner if any other information is needed in order for the application to be determined. This concludes my general overview of the program itself. Back to you, Eric.
Thank you very much, Rebecca, for that helpful information. Rebecca, along with CalHFA Homeowner Relief Corporation board member Francesca Marti, will be taking questions in the time remaining. Since we have a limited amount of time, about 10 minutes, we'll do our best to get to as many questions as we can. Please click on the raise hand button to be called upon to ask your question. You can also submit a written question through the Q&A option at the bottom of your screen, and we will be monitoring those. If there's time, we can ask those at the end. We'd also be happy to arrange for one-on-one interviews with today's speakers. Contact press@camortgagerelief.org to make arrangements. Looks like we are joining the Q&A right now. So let's get started. Who do we have here? Make sure you raise your hand if you can see it, and we will be able to see you here. Kelsey Valley is our first question. Kelsey.
Yes, good morning. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Good morning. This is Pilar Niño, reporter with Telemundo Channel 48. I wanted to know, you mentioned 12% of the homeowners are already in foreclosure or behind. That 12, what is the number, the total number? 12% of how many homeowners?
Pilar, thank you for the question. So yes, so the figures that we have show that 12% of homeowners are impacted or in a state of potential foreclosure, and 6% of homeowners are also behind on their mortgage payments. We're estimating between 20 to 40,000 homeowners may be eligible for this program based on the figures that we have. And I would just invite either Rebecca or Executive Director Johnson Hall if they have any additional details. But as I mentioned, this is directly a consequence, right, of this COVID-19 pandemic. We know that many households, renter households and homeowner households that were unable to work or had reduced hours have been impacted. And so we are of course, very appreciative and pleased that Congress had the foresight to be able to not only advocate for protections, but also put forward the funding to be able to assist these struggling homeowners.
Great, thank you. Our next question is from Hannah Wiley.
Hi, thank you all. I have a few questions. Some of them are just clarifying, if you don't mind. I want to make sure this, so this is $1 billion through the program in federal aid dollars. And which relief package is that from? That's question number one. Number two is, I know there were some logistical problems with the rent relief program and that it took a couple of months to get the program really working well and applications approved and money at the door. How is the what's the status of some of those logistical errors? And then is there going to be any potential errors, similar errors through this program, or have you used some of those, I guess, working through those issues for this program? And then number three is, what's the status of the rent relief program money? Is there any potential that some of those dollars could be taken back if it's not all spent on rent relief?
I may, Eric, I can take a couple of the questions related to rental assistance and then ask Eligibility to speak to the program design for mortgage assistance. But I'd like to just ask Chairwoman, did you want to provide any sort of additional remarks in terms of the origins of this funding? I know you mentioned it during your comments.
Well, thank you very much. As you so aptly identified early on, and of course, everyone who has spoken talked about the fact that the American Relief Plan included this money to be able to help our homeowners. And even though we had worked through forbearance, we recognized that forbearance wasn't enough and that we should do more to ensure that people who have worked very hard, who have saved up their money for down payments, who have been involved in keeping up their mortgage payments before the pandemic needed to be assisted and should be assisted. And this is what this is all about. And California has been in the forefront of responding quickly and well and understanding what they could do to simplify the program so that those who are applying did not encounter, difficult procedures by which to qualify. And as you identified early on, not only have you taken steps to simplify, but you also have additional assistance to those who need it in order to apply. And so I think that the California program is going to go very smoothly and learned an awful lot from some of the stumbling that we made with the rental assistance program. And Treasury also included in all of the actions that they have taken since they learned about the difficulties to relieve the program of the stumbling blocks that many of our citizens were encountering. So I'm very pleased about what I'm hearing today about how this program is going to work.
Thank you, Chairwoman. And I will just add, Hannah, in terms of the overall status of the rent relief program. As I mentioned, we have paid out $1.8 billion. That represents approximately 145,000 households, low-income renter households. In fact, about 85% of these households are making below 50% of AMI. And so for us, ensuring that these dollars are going to those hardest hit households was very important. Yes, we ran into a few problems early on. And I think that was a combination of the guidelines that were released early on from Treasury, but also our ability to be able to learn working in collaboration with local partners. We have a network of over 120 local community-based organizations that are working with us to ensure that these dollars are made available to renter households. And we are not actually planning to return any dollars. In fact, last month, the state submitted a request to U.S. Treasury requesting an additional $1.9 billion to be able to support the demand of households that have applied for the program. With regard to the mortgage assistance program and some of the designs, I'll turn it over to Executive Director Johnson Hall or Rebecca Franklin. Yes.
I'll take the question. Thank you so much. I echo what Chairwoman Waters and Secretary Castro Ramirez said about the program design for the mortgage relief program. I think I also want to highlight that while CalHFA is charged with administering this program and distributing the funds, it is a team effort with everyone on the screen and the agencies and organizations we represent. We work very closely with the FPI as well as the BCSH agencies. So when designing the program, we did take the lessons learned and the experiences of the emergency rental assistance program into consideration. And we've been hand in hand when, designing the program, testing the program, and now deploying the program. And we are very confident, I feel I can speak for everyone on the screen, saying that this will be a successful program and we will be able to help tens of thousands of Californians stay in their homes.
Great, thanks to all of you. Our next question is from Jeff Collins. And if you wouldn't mind, when you are speaking, just announce what media outlet you're with. That'd be helpful for us also. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Jeff Collins. I'm a housing reporter for the Orange County Register and the Southern California News Group. Just going back, Secretary Castro Ramirez, your statistic, you say 12% of California homeowners have been impacted by the COVID crisis, and 6% are delinquent on mortgage payments. Did I get that right? And then if so, 12, how do you define impacted?
Yes, so the statistics that we have is that 12% of California homeowners are either at risk of foreclosure, given the impact of this pandemic, and 6% are behind with mortgage payments. And that may be a result of availing themselves of the forbearance relief. And so, yes, that's the stat. And those are the data points that we have.
So the 12%, that doesn't really mean that they missed mortgage payments at this point or are in the foreclosure process.
I would ask maybe program to elaborate, but I think the fact of the matter is that we know that we have a number of homeowners that are struggling to hold on to their home and that have not been able to make their payments and that have reached out to their servicer to request forbearance relief. But that forbearance relief does not necessarily dissolve them of the obligation to make that mortgage. These funds will enable homeowners that have been impacted to be able to repay those funds that they were unable to pay because they were impacted by the COVID-19.
Yes, and if there are any follow-up questions that have to do with statistics and numbers and stuff we have to retrieve, we're happy to take that one-on-one. We have that press email address. We'd love to follow up with you after this. Our next question is from David Wagner. There you are.
Oh, okay. I was muted. Sorry. Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Okay, great. Yeah, thank you for taking the question. You say that this program could help up to 40,000 households. I'm curious if you have any estimate of how many households you expect to apply. And then as a follow-up to that, if that number of qualified applicants ends up exceeding the amount of funding you have to distribute, how are you going to go about determining who gets selected for funding?
Thank you for your question. For the 40,000, so our forecasting and data research has projected that the average amount of assistance that homeowners will need in California is around $40,000. So our forecasting is that we will be then helping 20,000 to 40,000 homeowners stay in their home. On the second part of your question, it is at a first come, first served basis. That's why we are urging people to apply now. Obviously, applicants will be screened against the criteria set forth in our term sheet and our plan, which are both on our website.
So is there any plan for, I didn't hear an answer to the question about how many you expect to apply. Is there any expectation, based on the statistics you cited earlier about how many households are behind on mortgage payments right now? Do you have any idea of how many folks may end up applying?
No, I don't think that we have that expectation. We're able, for our own operational getting ready and preparedness, we are expecting to process 2 to 3 applications for every 1 award.
Okay, and then I also didn't quite hear an answer to the question of if you have a plan in place to determine who will get funding in the situation that applications exceed the amount of funding you have to give out?
Well, first of all, the mortgage relief program is one of many different assistance programs that homeowners can avail themselves of. One that we do promote is having them work with a HUD certified counselor and their mortgage servicer to see if there is a more advantageous option for them, as well as if the funds have run out, we have a reservation system. At that point in our plan, it does designate that we would be prioritizing those homeowners that are considered socially disadvantaged.
Great. Thanks, Rebecca. Next question is from Manuela Tobias of CalMatters.
Hi, I had a couple questions as well. One of them was just following up on that eligibility that you just talked about, Rebecca. It's 100% AMI, but will there be certain income brackets that are prioritized, or is this on a first come, first served basis? It kind of sounded there like you're waiting until all the applications come in before you make those decisions. So follow up to that is when do you expect the first payments to go out? And then my other question was, is there a third party vendor that will be administering this program, or is CalHFA doing that internally?
So I'm sorry if I forget part of the answer or the question. So on our website, there is a full plan that we had submitted to the U.S. Treasury in our term sheet. In the plan, it does stipulate that we have reserved 40% of the total allocation to California to go to those homeowners who reside in historically socially disadvantaged communities. So it is a first come, first serve. People should apply now. Applicants will be evaluated against the criteria that we have set forth and that was approved by the U.S. Treasury Department. As far as the program administration, CalHFA was the recipient of funds. CalHFA has chosen to form an affiliate nonprofit, which is the CalHFA Homeowner Relief Corporation, to administer those funds.
Thank you. And can you explain a little bit more about those socially historically disadvantaged communities? How exactly did you come up with those?
Yeah, so historically socially disadvantaged are homeowners who reside in a QCT tract, which is defined by HUD, or in a highest and high scored neighborhood as scored by UCLA's Homeowner Vulnerability Index. So the homeowners would reside either in the QCT or the highest and high Homeowner Vulnerability Index areas. Those are considered the definition of socially disadvantaged.
Got you. So unlike rent relief, this isn't, there isn't like a certain amount set aside for certain counties or cities. It's going to depend on that definition.
Correct.
Thank you.
We are administering funds for the entire state.
Okay.
Great, thank you. Our next question is from Azalea Iniguez.
Hello, can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, wonderful. Hi, how are you, everybody? I'm just trying to get a little bit more specific data. Do you have a breakdown in terms of the amount of people that in all of California, where they are located, in terms of who is in the state of potential foreclosure? I serve mostly Los Angeles, LA County, Orange County, Riverside. So I kind of want to get a better feel for how many of those people are in our area.
I think this falls under what Eric had previously said about the stats. I think I want to make sure that we answer this completely and with the most up-to-date information. So I would love for you to submit that question and we can get back to you on that one.
Perfect. Thank you so much.
It looks like we have one more question, another question from Jeff Collins, and then I think we'll wrap it up. So Jeff.
Good morning again. Most homeowners are not at risk of homelessness, even if they're having troubles making the mortgage payment, because most homeowners have equity in their homes. Do you have any inkling or any idea of the 6% who are in default on their mortgage, are at risk of becoming homeless?
I think that if you're not, so for the point of this program is to prevent displacement, which means the person would lose their home due to foreclosure, due to non-payment. So this program is focusing on helping Californians catch up on missed payments to prevent displacement and foreclosure.
Okay, I think that's the last of what we got. I would certainly like to thank Chairwoman Maxine Waters for her attendance today, also Commissioner Hewlett, Secretary Castro Ramirez, and Executive Director Tina Johnson Hall, as well as your technical insight, Dr. Franklin. Thank you so much for being here today. We will have more information. As you can see, a slide is going to pop up on your screen that has our web address at camortgagerelief.org. You can also, of course, send any inquiries to press@camortgagerelief.org. If you want more information about our overall housing strategy in the state of California, you can look at housingiskey.com, which has a wider overview of all the solutions that the state of California is implementing to help out with the housing situation in California. Thank you so much to everyone for being here, and please get that slide up so people can check it out. And thank you so much for being here, and have a wonderful rest of your Wednesday.
Debrief with Russ on anything? Yes.